The sun dipped behind the towering peaks of the Denver National Forest, casting long shadows over the rugged landscape. The air grew colder as I trudged deeper into the heart of the mountains, the crunch of leaves beneath my boots the only sound in the eerie silence. I had always loved the thrill of exploring, the excitement of discovering hidden trails. But today, an unsettling feeling clung to the air, and the beauty of the forest seemed to transform into a foreboding mystery. The narrow trail I followed twisted and turned, leading me into the heart of the wilderness. As I ventured further, the trees loomed overhead like silent sentinels, their branches swaying with an otherworldly whisper. The path became less defined, and a dense fog rolled in, swallowing the trail ahead. The once vibrant colors of the forest faded into shades of gray, and an eerie gloom settled around me. A sense of isolation gripped my heart. The distant calls of birds and rustling leaves were my only companions. The forest felt alive, each tree watching my every step with an unseen gaze. I shook off the unease, convincing myself it was just my imagination playing tricks. The trail led me to a steep ascent, and as I climbed, the air grew thinner. The fog thickened, making it hard to see more than a few feet ahead. Anxiety knotted my stomach, and a chill ran down my spine. It was as if the forest itself was closing in around me. As I reached the summit, a haunting sight awaited. An ancient graveyard lay hidden in the mist, the weathered tombstones standing like silent witnesses to a forgotten past. The wind carried whispers of sorrow, and the fog clung to the graves like mourning shrouds. A sudden cold breeze whispered through the tombstones, and the air thickened with an unspoken tragedy. The forest seemed to pulse with a sorrowful energy. My curiosity overcame my fear as I approached the graves, each one telling a tale of lives lost in the unforgiving wilderness. A name caught my eye, etched into a weathered headstone, Emily Turner. The date of death sent a shiver down my spine, matching the current year. It couldn't be a coincidence. My unease deepened as I realized I was not alone in this desolate place. The fog thickened, obscuring my surroundings. I felt a presence, a spectral force that sent ripples of dread through my soul. A soft voice carried on the wind, whispering words of warning. Panic set in as I stumbled back, trying to escape the spectral grip that tightened around me. The fog cleared momentarily, revealing a shadowy figure standing among the graves. A ghostly visage of a young girl, her eyes hollow and filled with an ancient sadness. It was Emily, the lost soul whose name adorned the tombstone. Her voice echoed through the silence, recounting the tragic tale of her demise in the unforgiving wilderness. She spoke of a treacherous storm that trapped her on the mountain, of desperate cries for help that went unanswered. As her story unfolded, a chilling realization gripped my heart. I was retracing her final steps, and the forest itself was a graveyard for lost souls. Desperation overcame me as Emily pleaded for release from the eternal torment that bound her spirit to the mountain. The fog thickened once more, and I felt a cold hand on my shoulder. Emily's eyes bore into mine as she whispered a haunting plea for salvation. Driven by compassion, I vowed to help Emily find peace. Together, we retraced her final moments, the fog guiding us through the twists and turns of the unforgiving terrain. As we descended the mountain, the air grew heavy with a sorrowful energy, and the forest seemed to mourn our passage. But as we approached the trailhead, a sense of foreboding settled over me. Emily's ethereal form began to fade, her voice growing distant. I realized with a sinking heart that our journey was nearing its end, and the price of helping Emily find peace was my own entrapment in the spectral realm. The forest closed in around us, the trees twisting into grotesque shapes. Emily's cries of gratitude turned into mournful wails. I tried to retreat, but an invisible force held me captive. The world shifted, and the once familiar landscape transformed into a nightmarish realm. Emily's voice echoed one last time, a heart-wrenching farewell as she faded into the mist. The forest embraced me with its spectral tendrils, trapping me in a realm between the living and the dead. The air grew cold, and the world around me dissolved into a haunting void. As I stood alone in the spectral wilderness, I realized the tragic truth: my attempt to help Emily had condemned me to share her fate. The forest, once a place of beauty, had become my eternal prison. The eerie silence enveloped me, and the shadows whispered the mournful tale of another lost soul swallowed by the unforgiving wilderness. And so, the haunting echoes of my final screams joined the chorus of sorrow that lingered in the Denver National Forest, a tragic symphony of souls trapped in the eternal embrace of the mountains.